About these swinging trees. No, not me, not me. I just want to talk about these swinging trees, these beautiful trees that we used to have out in the Midwest, the Southwest, and a lot of us will be surprised to know that they're still there. I don't want to hear you're bringing up stuff from the past. It doesn't matter. We should move on. We're all together because Trump brought back segregation. So I just want to talk about these beautiful swinging trees. So just in the case of the event of these lynching starting to come back, we're not surprised because we already have these beautiful swinging trees that are still there and stand out. They're not chopped down, they're not lost, they are still there. And let's get into the video. Let me know what's your thoughts. And I don't want to hear I'm race baiting and bringing up things from the past. No, I'm just talking about swinging trees, okay? A tree that you use to swing a hen word.
This is Hayhira, Georgia. Hayhira is in South Georgia. Is in Lowndes County. Lowndes is home to Valdosta, Georgia, which is probably the next biggest city. And we're here today because I was looking for the Mary Turner lynching site, memorial, marker. And I couldn't find it. And the reason I could not find the Mary Turner marker was because they permanently removed it. And the reason that they permanently removed it was because it kept getting destroyed by people who did not want to have a marker for a woman that was lynched in this county. And I don't know if you know the story of Miss Mary Turner's lynching, but it's particularly brutal. Because Miss Mary Turner was lynched in this county at this spot because she spoke out about her husband being lynched. Okay? Her husband was lynched. She got mad about it and she expressed her outrage. All right? And what happened was, the lynching party came, rounded up this woman who was very pregnant. I want to say she was 6 months pregnant, maybe more than that. And they beat and killed her. But not only that, someone took a knife and cut the baby out of this woman's womb and stomped the child to death. So I'm showing you this sign that has bullet holes in it right near Miss Turner's memorial. And this is why they had to remove her marker, because it kept getting shot up with bullet holes.
It is considered by many to be the most famous tree in all of Texas.
Okay.
This is the famous hanging tree of Goliad County. It was a site of extrajudicial executions. In other words, this is where they lynched Mexicans.
How many Mexicans were there?
Some say 80, 90, 100, but we really don't even know. And of course, on the other side of there is a famous whipping post where they would tie Mexicans and other people, blacks, and whip them for transgressions against the social order. Over there, we have a tree where it is said that they hung the blacks because I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Even, in Texas, we had standards. You can't lynch a black person from the same tree that you lynch a brown person. And, it just ain't fitting. It ain't fitting. It just ain't fitting.
Just ain't right.
So this is the kind of crazy racism that fueled all this. And why? It was economics, and it was also the fact that they wanted our land.
Latinos for Trump, blacks for Trump. When I see some of these things, I wonder what is going on with our people, because you're siding with the same set of people who didn't want you here in the first place, and we're looking for acceptance. But every time you give them the chance to prove it or do something different, they revert to their original default setting, as we can see. Because it is no surprise that we see what is happening now in the government, in people daily life. It is the same outcome. The elites are always convincing everybody that immigrants and black and brown people are the ones who they should be afraid of, when they are the wolves who are sharpening their teeth and their fangs and their claws to come for your neck. They always have their boots on our neck, and we always try to fight back and not be subjugated by this. But looking at these swinging trees that I've been telling you about, these swinging trees are always been around. These swinging trees are what they're used to. These swinging trees are not even cut down in these modern times. As you saw with the first video, they went out of their way to erase our history because it doesn't look aligned with their agenda that we are the most nice people. We withhold and lift up the spirits, what it means to be American. And when you look at their history, when you look at how they treat other humans and their human rights, this is staring, looking back at them in their face, and they do not know what to do with this kind of history, because it goes against everything that they're pretending and trying to portray to the world that they are. But when people look at them, they can still see the stench of the bloods on them, and they might and is the savage they speak of. The savage that they're telling everybody that we are. History is looking back at them and saying that is far from the truth. You notice how they went out of their way to remove that woman history. Without that guy made that video and walking around trying to find that area where that lynching happened, they said they lynched her husband and she got mad about it. It's like white people's wondered, hey, I lynched your husband. Why would you be mad? And because I lynched your husband and you're mad about it, we're going to lynch you at the same spot, at the same location. And they go their way to erase history, but they never remove these trees. And a lot of people are still around that still remember, because they want it to be their symbol. They love it. They love it. As much as they say it's in the past, it's in the past. History is a record book, like a bill, keeping track of all the past transgression, of all the past wrong, and also when you will pay that bill to say, hey, I have rubbed out my previous generation past and I have paid the bill of the injustice that have been done to black and brown people. But they will never do that. So the bill keep hanging on and passing down to the next generation, and the next generation kick it down to the next generation. And we're looking at that and saying, we see you. History have seen you. And some must go as far as to double down on this history, refusing to pull back, refusing to make a change, because they're so satisfied. If your family steal a house and you are now living in that house, you are complicit in the stealing of that house that your father and grandfather stole and pass it down to the next generation, because at no time you had tried to right the wrong that was done to the previous occupant of this house. You keep on carrying it on and being complicit in these acts. White people like to say, hey, I wasn't there. I wasn't the one who did this. But you have to remember, you have done nothing to right the wrongs that has happened, that you are beneficial of this system, of this wrongdoing and injustice. You refuse to do anything to right the wrong, and the bill needs to be paid. Because you can act like you love liberty, civil liberty, human rights, but history is looking back. The black race is looking back. Bullshit. We're looking back and saying to you, bullshit. The person that you're pretending to be, which some of them are not even pretending, they're right out racist. That is why they put Orange Man. You know, one of the lovely things he wants to bring back, segregation. For federal contractors are not have to hold up segregation laws. And in the meantime, while he erodes segregation laws, he's coming for the civil rights. Not even human rights they were willing to give us. Civil rights he's trying to tear down. And we are looking at you and saying, oh, instead of righting the wrong and fix it, you rather double down and go back and divert to your original default setting that is being racist, xenophobic, sexist, every one of the is. You would proudly go back to that than to see the upliftment of black or brown people in this country. And you're saying you are different. If you were there, back in that time, you would be surprised that you people would be the same one putting up the ropes, same people putting up the ropes for these swinging tree. You can't wait for me to go swinging, huh? I know you want me to go swinging. I know you would love to see me by the neck. I'm not surprised. I've seen it in your eyes. I am not surprised that you would want me to go swinging. That's why I'm going to name this one Swinging Trees. Because these trees are still here for to see me and my generation and descendants don't have to fall in the same trap and get the noose around the neck. Because time has passed, but a lot. That is the next thing he might bring back. And I won't hear anything from them. I wouldn't be surprised if he has plans to bring back it, and I wouldn't hear a peep from them. And I rest my case. For now.
The Defense Department igniting a firestorm after pulling a web page dedicated to baseball icon Jackie Robinson. Why was the page taken down, and what's happened now? Here's our senior political correspondent Rachel Scott tonight.
Tonight, the Pentagon sparking outrage after removing from its website a story celebrating the Army record of American icon Jackie Robinson, who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. Robinson was drafted during World War II. The story on the website included a description of his refusal to move to the back of an Army bus, an act that got him court-martialed and later acquitted. This morning, Robinson's story no longer available. In its place, this error page, and in the address bar, an indication of why the page was taken down. Added to the URL, the letters DEI for diversity, equity, and inclusion, something Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has vowed to purge from the Pentagon.
You have to tear out DEI and CRT initiatives root and branch out of institutions.
Jackie Robinson's son David Robinson today saying he was surprised the Pentagon removed the tribute to his father, adding, "We take great pride in Jackie Robinson's service to our country as a soldier and a sports hero, an icon whose courage, talent, strength of character, and dedication contributed greatly to leveling the playing field, not only in professional sports, but throughout society." Robinson not the only hero whose story was removed as part of the Pentagon's DEI purge. Military websites also taking down tributes to the legendary Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American military pilots, the fabled Navajo code talkers of World War II, and Ira Hayes, a Native American and one of the Marines who raised the flag at Iwo Jima. Those pages and others that were removed later ultimately reinstated amid an outcry. Today, a Pentagon spokesperson saying, everyone at the Defense Department loves Jackie Robinson, as well as the Navajo code talkers, the Tuskegee Airmen, the Marines at Iwo Jima, and so many others. We salute them for their strong and in many cases heroic service to our country, full stop. We do not view or highlight them through the prism of immutable characteristics, such as race, ethnicity, or sex.
A senior military official tells us tonight that the Pentagon relies on computer software to scrub DEI content from its websites, and that ultimately those stories about Jackie Robinson and those other American icons were removed by mistake. That story about Jackie Robinson is back up on the website tonight, David.
Rachel Scott, live at the White House. Rachel, thanks.